This was just starting. I wouldn't break down now. The penny-sized brooch hidden in the inside pocket of my jacket trembled as he scrunched his nose and leaned away from me. Carl tisked and returned the invitation to me as if he was suddenly bored. "Welcome aboard, miss." He gestured to the doors. "Thank you," I muttered, turning away from him. A long, relieved breath escaped my lungs as I stepped inside the train. The locomotive was even fancier on the inside. The darkened windows were large and curved upward, taking up most of the ceiling. 2 columns of large black leather armchairs stood on each side of the wide corridor, with touchscreen TVs and folding tables on their backs. Some chairs were turned back, and a smooth wooden table stood between 2 rows. From the magazines and articles I had read about the DuMoir visit, I knew there would also be a luxurious dining car, a movie theater car, a car with a pool, and even sleeping quarters. I had started walking down the first car when a hand grabbed my wrist. "Hey, sit here," the girl from before said, tugging on my arm gently. I held in a grimace. This was not the time to make friends. I looked around, but the seats were filling up fast, and what would be my excuse to her? She had already seen I was as alone as she was. I sighed. "Sure." I plopped down on the seat beside her. She offered me her slender hand. "I'm Judy." "Thea." I looked at her once more as I shook her hand firmly. She was probably my age, 19 or maybe 20, and she was pretty, with auburn hair and tanned skin. I pulled my hand from hers and settled into my seat, looking straight ahead. The girl, though, didn't seem to get the hint. "So, how long have you been trying to visit DuMoir?" I suppressed a groan. 2 years. "Oh, you're lucky." I frowned. Was I? They don't allow visitors younger than 15. "True, but my entire family has been trying for years, and finally I got the invitation." She tilted her head. "So, why do you want to see Castle DuMoir?" The golden question. Everyone who was granted an invitation was asked that question. I clasped my hands together on my lap, glad I was shaking less and less, and told her what I had rehearsed for months now. "I've lived one town over for most of my life. There's nothing interesting around here, except the fact that there's a mysterious castle close by. Who doesn't want to see it? To know the faces of the lords and nobles living inside it." Her grin was so big I thought it would blind me. "Exactly. I don't live in Crimson Glen, but my grandparents do. My parents were raised here until they got married and moved away, but we visit often. I've always dreamed of seeing the castle in person, to meet a prince, or a lord, or a royal guard, and—" Her cheeks gained a red tint, and she quickly averted her gaze. Holy crap. This girl thought she was headed straight to a fairy tale. Cinderella going to meet the prince at the ball. Poor girl. My anxiety and nervousness were replaced by a white-hot anger. Anger for this girl and her dreams. "Well, anything can happen," I forced out. She returned her eyes to mine, a small smile on her closed lips. "Anyway, I'm here to have a fun evening. I heard there's a village outside the castle with actual taverns and inns and stables, like old stuff, you know?" I nodded. "There's also a lake and boat rides and a small winery. And, to crown the night, a tour inside the castle and a masquerade party in the ballroom." A chill went down my spine. "That's right." "So exciting," Judy repeated for the 10th time or so. If I had to guess, I would hear that same tone coming from her at least another 500 times until the end of this visit. When the passengers were seated and the doors closed,